Mr. Chairman, we're compelled to exercise our right of reply in response to a statement delivered by the delegation of Georgia so as to clarify the genuine situation surrounding South Ossetia and Abkhazia. These independent states have been recognized by a whole host of countries, including Russia, on the basis of the free expression of the will of the peoples of South Ossetia and Abkhazia in accordance with the norms and principles of international law, including the UN Charter. For us, this issue has been settled. We'll also respond to the groundless assertions by a number of Western delegations linked to the implementation of the Budapest Memorandum. The memorandum was adopted as Ukraine acquired nuclear-free status and therefore acceded to the NPT as a non-nuclear weapons state. Now, the memorandum is a component of a package of political agreements which impose obligations on all participants equally. Since this package was adopted, the Russian Federation has ever since then unswervingly upheld the provisions of the documents it signed. On the memorandum, specifically, we reaffirmed vis-à-vis Ukraine the obligation not to use nor threaten to use nuclear weapons against non-nuclear states, taking into consideration the technical reservations that are standard in such instances. This obligation remains unchanged and has been and is being implemented in full. As for the West, whose historically sought to tear Ukraine away from Russia once and for all, impudently interfered in the internal and external affairs of Kiev. Despite Ukraine initially enjoying neutral status, they dragged Ukraine into a bloc-based confrontation with Russia. When radicals seized power in Kiev after a bloody coup d'etat, they refused to recognize the interests of a significant portion of Ukrainian society. They provoked an acute crisis in Ukraine, which raised questions about Ukraine's existence as a unified and capable state. The 1994 agreements were further undermined by the destabilizing course set for unrestrained NATO expansion and military and political expansion across post-Soviet states to the detriment of the fundamental interests of the Russian Federation. This is fundamentally at odds with the Budapest package of measures, which contains paradigms akin to equal and indivisible security. It also expresses commitment to the collective basis for erecting the European security architecture. All of this was cast aside. Nor did Kiev itself fulfill its obligations under the Budapest Memorandum, in particular those related to countering the rise of aggressive nationalism and chauvinism. Thus, the unity and territorial integrity of Ukraine were shattered by Kiev's own destructive policies as well as by the nefarious interference of the West. We could not and will not ignore threats to our security emanating from Ukraine's territory. Against this backdrop, we are disquieted by pronouncements by representatives of the Kiev regime, which not only call into question the viability of the memorandum, but can also be interpreted as a direct appeal for reconsidering Ukraine's nuclear-free status. Some Western politicians and officials suggested giving nuclear weapons back to Kiev, which would have been a direct violation of all obligations under the NPT taken upon themselves by these parties, anyone daring to do this. Without a doubt, Moscow does not intend to allow for a single one of these scenarios to come to pass. For us, Kiev acquiring nuclear weapons is absolutely unacceptable. This is the real, not the inverted, state of the Budapest Memorandum's implementation. I thank you.